How's it going, everybody? Jay Luxin here. Day 8 of the impeachment trial of our Vice President Sara Duterte. Well, I'm very frustrated and disappointed. As you can see, sa haba-haba ng panahon na the prosecution was building this up, and they were saying that when we get Matibag on the stands, there's gonna be a lot of exposés, magugulat ang lahat sa ilalabas ni Matibag. And I was looking forward to it because I'm really thinking maybe Sara is really guilty. And so I was looking forward for this day that Matibag finally takes the stands. Until it's a massive failure of expectation for me. Because I was really counting on the prosecution to, magpakita ng something solid, something na malaki as far as evidence goes against Sara Duterte, because they were promising the Philippines. Diba? If you remember, si Luistro, sinasabi niya pa, ipapakita namin sa mamamayang Pilipino kung ano talaga ang totoo na pag nalagay namin si Matibag sa stands, sa witness stands, then malalaman ng buong bansa. She was saying all these things. And then today, oh my gosh. It turns out, everything that Matibag said as the witness on that stand is hearsay. Hearsay. The whole time na tinatanong si Matibag ng defense during the cross-examination, the answers were always, I wasn't there, I don't have no personal knowledge of it, and hearsay. Nung nasabi na yung mga media personalities to meet with the NBI para sa investigation about Sara's threat against Bongbong Marcos, he wasn't there too. All he had were information given to him by someone from the NBI, and then he went with it and became this star witness for Sara Duterte's impeachment trial. So, ang lumalabas, wala sa mga sinabi ng Matibag behind the witness stand against Sara Duterte is credible to be used as evidence against Sara and to be impeached because he had no personal knowledge of everything. Ano ba naman, prosecution? See, listen, when we started with this impeachment trial and you saw me post sa Facebook ko, I said, open your minds. Don't be so fanatics of Sara Duterte. Maybe she did something, maybe she didn't, but just don't be fanatics. I was coming into this with an open mind, hoping that the prosecution would show me something, and they just failed me today. Okay, well, come on, what are we doing? That's why si Pia Cayetano was mad at the end of the deliberation kasi parang you're not doing your job. You promised us that you're gonna give us exposés when we get this guy behind the stands, and now here we are, nothing, empty. Ito pa masaklap, Mrs. ni Matibag is from the House of the Representatives, and she is one of the signatories for the impeachment against Sara Duterte. This is conflict of interest. Matibag goes to be a witness against Sara para ma-impeach si Sara. All the while, ang misis niya is the number one signatory to impeach Sara from the House of Representatives. Oh my gosh. Conflict of interest. We cannot do this in court, especially if we're trying to impeach a vice president, second highest office in the Philippines. This is becoming a big circus now. Seriously, prosecution. You're wasting the Filipino people's money. You're wasting millions every day we do this impeachment. Show us some solid evidence that will make us believe that Sara is truly guilty and should be impeached. Wasting my time, wasting everybody's time, wasting our money. Come on. Luistro, I hope you see this video. But for someone who finished law school and graduated and passed the bar, you suck at asking questions. My goodness, law students could ask better questions than you. You suck. Mga kababayan, ang mga tanong ni Luistro, if napanood nyo, paikot-ikot, paikot-ikot, paulit-ulit, and she wasn't asking any question that would point us to the truth. All of the question that she was asking, the answers we already know because it's already public knowledge. She was asking, nagbanta ba si Sarah? May video ba? Ano ba to? Oh my gosh, we all know this already. Ask something that will incriminate Sarah. You just suck at this. How did you become a lawyer? Ito pang statement ni Matibag that really made me roll my eyes to the back of my head. Sabi niya, may video ni Baste Duterte saying he wants Bongbong Marcos's head. And then, there's also video of Sarah saying she wants Bongbong Marcos's head. And then he was like, and watching those two videos, we put it together and we concluded na sila yung magpapartner para patayin si Bongbong Marcos. How dumb does that sound? It doesn't take a genius to prove to you that you cannot put two videos together despite them having the same wordings and say, it's the same. They're conniving and they're planning to do this. Unless you have a solid evidence to say na ito talaga ang plano because he said this, we have this as an evidence that they're the ones planning this, therefore they are a team in making this happen. You cannot just speculate na because sinabi ni Baste na I want his head, Sarah said I want his head, so now they're basically conniving and planning, to kill Bongbong Marcos. That's speculative. You have to have solid evidence behind it. Not just the videos, them saying, I want his head, I want his head. Then ito pa matindi. Si Matibag, there was an audio recording of him having a fight, an argument, with his friend. And in that video, he was saying, papatayin kita. When the defense asked him about it, he said, oh, it's different, Your Honor. It was just under stress. It's an outburst of emotion. Okay? So therefore, we cannot criminalize that because it's just I was under the situation then. Let me ask you this. When did Sarah give out that threat to Bongbong Marcos? You remember the setting? She was locked up in a room, no lights, no air conditioning unit. She had nothing and it was dark. That to me looks more stressful than what Matibag was going through when he gave out those threats. And then you're telling me now because Sarah said those threats under a stressful situation where there's no power, there's no light, there's no air conditioning unit, and she's a prisoner, she should be criminalized. But you giving out that threat, you're out in the open, you can actually do your threat and make it happen. You shouldn't criminalize that because you were under stress then. Why is the law different for you and it's different for Sarah? This was the time na yung chief of staff ni Sarah was held in contempt and she was placed in a room, and Sarah, being a good leader, joined her, just went in with her, and then after a couple of hours, they shut off the internet, shut off the power. There's no light, as you can watch the video, and that's a very stressful situation. Now, if Matibag is saying that, when I gave out that threat, I was under stress, we should consider Sarah being under stress this time too. Imagine being in that very confined room, no power, nothing, and you don't know, what's gonna happen. And you have threats against your life and your family, your kids, your wife, your husband, right? Why do we have to differentiate? Kung si Matibag, it's different. Pagdating kay Sarah, it should be impeachable. This is double standards. So basically, it's a failed day for the prosecution, according to me. Okay, my opinion. I was really hoping for this day. I was encouraged and excited for this day kasi nga they were building this up so much. We will have exposés, this and that. Nothing. Empty. Luistro sucked at asking questions. And at the end, that was a very good explanation. If you watched it, how Pia Cayetano reacted by, we present information and witnesses that really doesn't bring anything to the table. Let's do our job, she was saying. Kasi this is wasting our time, wasting the Filipino people's money, waste of everything. And if the prosecution cannot present something solid This is what are we doing here? So that's it. I have nothing else to say. If you watched it, you know there's really nothing there to talk about. I guess that's it. We end here. Let's do better. Oh, okay. Hey, be balanced. Okay, don't be fighting with each other in the comment section. Let's be respectful. If hindi tayo magkatulad ng or magkaparehas ng pinapanigan or pinaniniwalaan, let's just be respectful. Let's be people with open mind. Let's be willing to understand each other. The Bible says, be quick to hear and slow to speak. Okay, let's practice that. We can achieve more if we're willing to discuss, with respect, other than or instead of fighting with each other and insulting one another. Okay, kaya natin to. Let's be better Pinoys.